From this time frame, it appears to be good, but there's a couple of things we have to look at first. I don't know. I want to see exactly what time this level was created, and we want to go down to a smaller time frame. Okay, so keep an eye on that. It's getting dangerously close. This looks great just below. So I'm going to put some levels around these, then we're going to go down to the smaller time frames and look. Now, this Russell, my guess is the S&P and NASDAQ have almost the same level, and DAX. Out of all those, you know, it's not a big deal. I kind of prefer the DAX, but not a big deal. So your short-term trading levels, like we're looking at, down to those, you know, 5, 10, 15, volume tick, anything created between, I would say, 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. That's when institutions and banks are most active. Well, much closer to that 9 a.m. But that early morning. No, so let's go down and look at a smaller time frame. We want to look at the TF. Okay, so let's do our little X-ray snapshot. Let's go down to a 10. I mean, if this level looks really good here, it may be, you know, garbage when we look at it on the 10. So let's go back. Here it is. So it's this. It's not horrible, but I'm probably not going to take it. You'd have to take this part right here. The lower level is the textbook level. The reason why I said on that chart on the left that it may not be great, because if you look at it, you know, you rally all the way up here and then go down and up. See when you look at it, take an X-ray? Right, price goes up and then down, bases and takes off. You got to make sure you've got the logic out. If there was so much demand in this area, why was price able to decline, you know, while it was there? Now about a pretty small time frame, so it may not be that big of a deal, but there's so much demand up here. How is it the price is able to trade down here? Well, the fact is, it wouldn't be able to trade down there. That's why the level we're looking at is down here. This is where price couldn't go any lower and demand exceeded supply. That's why it took off from here. That's why it stopped falling from here. Right, for those of you who've been with us for a while, this is not a typical looking level. However, yeah, so this one below, much better. And make sure now looking at that chart, we're gonna do it like this. I'm going to start the level right there. Notice the origin of the move is right there. So this is where the meat of the activity is. Okay. Yeah, drop base rally is okay, you know, because you have a rally-based rally also coming right out of it, which is ideal. Now this bottom one, I would expect prices to turn, you know, pretty much at the line. We would not expect prices to go deep into this level. Okay, put this chart back. We'll watch for that. And we'll see if price can get down to that upper level. Very early in the day still. Also, too, anytime I see a drop like this, I'll always go down to a little 1-minute chart. Usually these levels during the drop, or even they kicked off the drop, you'll get real tradable bounces from there. You know, you're risking a point. You know, 2-3 point profit is great. Just want to take a quick look there. Okay, we can look at the Aussie dollar. Did you want to look through the, Mohammed, did you want to look through the futures or the spot? Doesn't matter to me. Yeah, it looks like you're typing in the spot. I should have seen that. No problem. Whoops. There we go. So larger time frame, okay, just so we see where we're at. Now, I'm sure a lot of you looked at this for a good month now. The Aussie dollar has been sitting, it's fallen pretty quick because there was nothing to stop it from falling down to this area, which is the origin of this rally. Okay. Yeah, so if I go to the monthly, it's really just stalled out for the past couple months right at this level. We would expect that, right? Notice again, you see this every chart we look at. Prices fall, and they barely hesitate here because this is not press. Most people look at these levels as demand levels. They're not demand. These are pivot lows into the demand to the left. So we expect prices to fall right through that and stop right here. But most people's eyes are not trained to see that as demand. Mohammed, it looks like you noticed that, which is great. Okay, so now we want to go investigate this level better. Let's go down to, at least a pause, sure. But now we want to go down to a smaller time frame to see if that pause is going to turn into a rally. Weekly chart says no. Daily chart, I'm going to do this. I'm just going to put a horizontal line right on the low. Try to blow this up and look left. So this is where our price is turned at. Again, we've been back to this level already. So this is kind of the second time back to the level. So let's scroll right. Yeah, it doesn't look great. But could prices rally? Sure, they could rally. We want to go inside this, but because you're not turning at like you're pointing out, you're not turning at a significant demand level, and we're in such a strong downtrend, I'd probably expect this downtrend to continue. But I'm on a daily chart. So you see these big red candles on the daily? Now I want to go down and look inside those candles and see if there's any supply inside there that I can short against. My guess is going to be there is. So let's do that. On the 240-minute chart, so those big red candles that just look like giant red candles, look at the 240. You've got fantastic supply levels sitting just above. Before I put them in there, though, let me just take a little X-ray snapshot. Let's see which ones are fresh. So this first one looks good. This area up here does not look great. That area on top looks the best, obviously, but we're not going to get there anytime soon. So this level looks good. This level up here, not great, and I like that. Obviously that one, and here's your outstanding level up here. And then, of course, the rally base drop on top. I'm not going to spend time on it because we're pretty far from that. So this level looks fresh right here. Remember, this level, when we looked on the smaller time frame, this is not a fresh level anymore. There was a level in there, then there was a retracement, and then it fell. So once you go through this bottom one, I kind of leave it alone. Then we've got our levels up here. So we'd expect turning points. Each of these, so far in the chart, the target here would be about 89.30. There's a 30. Where I get that 30 from is you see this demand move over to the bottom left. Here's where the demand is below current price. So to safely go above that 89.20-ish, I'd go 89.35 with the target. We want to get out before that demand level.